Well, ladies and gentlemen, so today we are embarking on our 12th Lord in the second house series. And what happens when the planet that controls your 12th house is sitting in the second house? And as always, if you do not know where your 12th Lord is, where your other Lord through houses are, for that, check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects at the Speed of Light. So, guys, what is 12th house? 12th house represents isolation. It is, it shows a confined space like hospitals, jails, asylums, monasteries, foreign lands, okay? So, and it's also the house of spirituality, because remember, anytime you practice spirituality, it requires you to be in a very quiet, isolated place. That's where you truly get to understand who you are. That's where you truly get to understand, what you are all about in terms of your self-realization. 12th house is simply the house of self-realization and wanting to know more about your inner self more than your physical self, which is your first house, okay? And also 12th house kind of represents where you have a lot of expenditures, where you have losses take place. It's a house that can either make you fulfilled because of your losses or make you really depressed because of your losses. Now, when this house Lord goes into the second house, well, what is the second house? Second house represents your earnings, your worth, your self-worth, what you value in life. It's your family, savings, banking. It's, your ability to speak, what you talk to people about. Okay, so it's a very important house. So 12th Lord in the second house shows that your ability to value things and make money will only come through either being in isolation, meaning that your work, how you earn money, comes from isolated places. Like you might be in foreign lands, where your rest of the family is in your homeland. You might be working in hospitals, jails, asylums, or you might be simply in a very spiritual field as a career. Your earnings, what you value is spiritual life. What you value is spiritual knowledge. What you value is total spiritual bliss in your life, and that's how you perhaps even want to make money through. You might want to become a yoga teacher. You might want to talk about, spirituality like Deepak Chopra does. You're going to be interested in writing and writing about spiritual things. You're going to be interested in foreign travel as a part of your earnings. Your ability to earn money will happen either in foreign lands or multinational companies. Or you simply, depending upon what planet is controlling this, you can become a jail warden. You can become a warden in mental institution, okay? But mainly what this shows is that you simply value things related to spirituality and meditation through your family, because you kind of was born in the family that was more about the spiritual side of life more than the material side of life. And this is why you kind of took that as part of your personality. You took that as part of your value system. You're not the person who is going to value the most precious stones and money and wealth. No, what you value is self-realization as part of your living. Now, depending upon what planet is controlling this, we'll obviously differentiate that. So let's discuss that. So if Sun controls your 12th house and goes into the second house, what this shows, you have a bit of a hard time trying to value things in your life. You're the kind of person who kind of values spirituality late in your life. You perhaps appreciate visiting to foreign lands late in life, because here Sun could be debilitated, especially between 8 and 12 degrees. If your Sun is there, shows that the personality, the ego, the self-esteem was very introverted. You were kind of insulted by your family, and being insulted from your family, not being respected in your own family, you kind of went into your hole of 12th house. Perhaps you wanted to escape from home and you left for foreign lands. You ran away from home and you joined some monastery, some spiritual pilgrimage where you wanted to discover, better people around you, more spiritual people around you. But this kind of Sun can really hurt your ego. Now, your earning source will definitely either come from creative sources, like you can become an actor, a writer, photographer, or somebody who might be in simply a film director in entertainment and cinema side of things, or you will be able to find your calling in foreign lands by working in corporations, working in multinational companies. These are the two things. If Jupiter impacts the sun somehow through Parashara or Jaimini aspect, then you can see that this sun will follow the spiritual path. But this sun really makes you more aware of the material things in foreign lands. Or this sun will really make you feel like you need to value foreign things more than your own family or your own hometown, because that's where you kind of had the hardest time. Let's say if moon controls your 4th house, moon goes into the 2nd house, shows your mind is always involved in how to cure other people, how to take care of other people, because that's what you value. Your value system is all about wanting to work in isolation, wanting to work in confined spaces like hospitals and jails or asylums, and taking care of people, serving people. You want to be isolated from the material world and be in a spiritual world. Your mind is always towards health and healing. Your mind is very health conscious. You're the kind of person who would meditate a lot. You're the kind of person who will go into like Ayurveda or pranic healing and Reiki healing and acupuncture, things of that will heal people by nourishing them, taking care of them, kind of like a hospitality. And these are the people who will be in spiritual environment. Perhaps they even become spiritual yogis in their lifetime. But mainly what this shows is that due to the great spiritual education from the mother, you were able to appreciate the spiritual side of life. Your whole family is all about living a healthy lifestyle. Now, of course, if Rahu and Saturn are in the axis of 2nd and 8th house, then this mind is not going to be the same way as I'm talking about. So, it'll differentiate that. This is simply like the moon's position alone in this house. Let's say if Mercury controls your 12th house, Mercury goes into the 2nd house, shows that your ability to make income will come from communication and writing. You will make a great writer, and you're the kind of person who needs to work in isolation in order for your intelligence to shine, in order for your imagination to shine. And these kind of people will also be able to make money in foreign lands by being an accountant, being in a business management type of a field as a really aggressive businessman. Here, Mercury might not go to spirituality because Mercury is just curious about a lot of things. He may be involved in spirituality, but here Mercury is a very business-minded person. And in certain signs, Mercury can definitely, show that one is very much involved in either finance, banking, wanting to write for a living, wanting to communicate for a living, public speaking. Spiritual public speaking can become a part of you with this. But also, Mercury can definitely show somebody who preaches spirituality for life. Somebody who wants to, whenever they write or communicate, they write about spirituality or God. Like somebody like Wayne Dyer or somebody like, Joel Osteen. They love to communicate about the spiritual side of life. They love to communicate about how you can find peace in isolation. So communication becomes a huge part in their life, and business becomes a huge part in their life. And usually these people will always make money through foreign sources, foreign customers, foreign multinational companies. You can be in India, but you can be working for Google or IBM. Let's say Venus controls your 12th house and Venus is in the 2nd house. What this shows is that you will definitely appreciate creativity, imagination as a source of your value. You will make an earnings through being an actor, through being a singer, being somebody in entertainment, arts and craft. You have this great love for traveling the world. You want to make a living through traveling. You want to be this travel agent or somebody who goes out and takes people on a tour, and that's what you appreciate. You want to experience different culture, different ethnic groups, and through that you want to make that source of living. That's what you want to value. Shows that your family is very artistic with this kind of a Venus. Family, you always value cultural knowledge. Family always value anthropological knowledge. With this Venus shows that the spouse will come from foreign lands for a man, and she will help you earn money. She will help you gain savings in your life. Okay, Let's say if Mars controls your 12th house and Mars is in the second house. Well, what does this show? Well, Mars can definitely show somebody who likes to work in a confined space as in a leadership role, somebody who can become like a jail warden, somebody who can take a management role in a hospital, somebody who wants to teach yoga and tai chi and you know, martial arts for a living. What you value is physical activity that enlightens a person's spiritual life. Shows that in foreign countries you create assets of real estate. You create assets of, you know, owning conveniences. And this can also show that person works as an engineer in foreign lands, in isolation. But if this Mars is damaged in the second house, can show somebody who will be stuck in isolation, like in jail, asylum, hospitals, you know, for long periods of time. So you always have to look at the dignity of the planet, because remember, natural malefic planets you have to be very, very careful with. They can go either or, you know, either good way or bad way. Let's say if Jupiter controls your 12th house, goes into the second house, what this shows is that you're the kind of person who values life, values like biology, how things work in life. You're the kind of person who kind of values scientific information, and you're the one who wants to work in laboratories, gaining knowledge of, you know, like through looking through microscope, looking things in a scientific extrapolative way. Or you can be a person who loves imaginative creativity. You love to sing, you love classical arts, music, dance. You love to talk about philosophy, spirituality. You're the kind of person who does not want to be involved in religion. You want to simply involved in one spirituality. You make great professors and teachers in foreign lands with this kind of a Jupiter. Because now Jupiter is saying, hey, come to foreign lands. I'm going to make you a teacher. I'm going to make you a public speaker. I'm going to show you how to, you know, teach a crowd. But these people definitely get involved in scientific fields, you know, financial fields, or they will simply go towards, you know, philosophy and spirituality is a part of their life all throughout. But growing up in a family like this, they always valued education, knowledge, religion, culture. If Saturn controls your 12th house, goes into the second house, well, what this shows is that you're the kind of person who might become a jail warden. You love to implement policies in isolated private spaces. You might be working manual jobs in a hospital, in a jail, in a you know, in an asylum. You work long hours in isolation, which kind of drains you out, because you really, what you do, you value policies, you value structure, organization, and law. And so from privacy of a space or in foreign lands, you practice law. You become like a manager in a corporation that implements all the policies for people. You keep everybody in check for work. But mainly these people will always work in isolation type places of 12th house. And slowly, once they reach their mid-30s, they value spirituality. They value, you know, the divine self-realization, because remember, Saturn always tends to break a person's ego. So when you value material things, Saturn always breaks a person's ego. Say, oh, you want to value good looks and money and cars and not value someone's education? Okay, here, take this reality. So that's what Saturn gives in the second house. So these people have a hard time dealing with earning money and have a hard time wanting to save money because of the fact they create this self-illusion within themselves. But until that's broken, when they're 28, 29, 30, that's when the road starts where they start to excel, because they're like, no, I cannot value wrong things. I have to value the right things in life. Okay? So guys, this was my analysis of 12th Lord in the second house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And again, if you want to know where your planets are placed, where your conjunction aspects are, for that, check out the links here, including my books and all my other new options. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.